Hey, what's good? What's good? What's going on, beautiful people? Hey, what's good? What's going on, beautiful people? Hey, what's good? What's going on, beautiful people? Hey, what's good? What's going on, beautiful people? So this is me, the Infinity Midwife. You can call me Quincia. You can call me Yelly. You can call me definitely by my name. I hope you're taking care of your minds, your hearts, and your entire being. Welcome to a new edition of what I call channel messages for my masculine hive. Now, I'm making a few changes to how I service humanity. It is very important as we are stepping up in this age, in this new age, these new times of sovereignty, of claiming back our power, right? It has to start home. It has to start with our bodies, our temples, our homes. And so in bringing ourselves, or in taking power back, and taking power, and when I say taking our power back, what I mean ultimately is no longer overgiving, no longer putting yourself in a position where you are not recognizing your self-worth. And sometimes, or many times, because we've been programmed in a certain childhood, we've been overgiving. Or on the other end, we've been receiving. And so now that we are stepping in the space of balance, the space of sovereignty, sovereign souls, evolved souls, we have to bring balance to ourselves. And that has to start with your home, your temple. What are your values? How do you redefine self-worth that is in alignment with you? Right? When you think of self-worth, is it in alignment with a 9 to 9 type of job? When you think about it, when you think of self-worth, having children that don't understand boundaries, is that in alignment? And so as we are stepping in a time of balance, equilibrium, we are being asked to redefine what is self-worth and how does it play out in your everyday life. So there's a big need for us to redefine what it feels like, what it looks like, what self-worth looks like, feels like in my everyday. Right? So let me not start with, being too much serious. Let me not start. So you know what I'm going to do, you guys? I'm going to do something a little different. So you see here, let me just show you. This is a drawing that I started. Okay. If I move back a little bit, y'all probably going to see it. You see, that's the drawing that I started. And as I'm channeling over today, I am going to continue drawing. So I'm just going to continue where I stopped. I don't know. I feel like it's beautiful. What you think? Leave your comments below. Uh-oh. Let's just hope that I keep it quiet. long enough. I do want to say that, yes, I am changing the way I do my services. So I'm no longer going to be doing 2 hours videos like I did previously. That is definitely going to change. It's going to be max an hour long. Okay. So I'm going to be checking out on the time. So we're already 5 minutes in. So I'm not going over an hour in this recording. Okay. So I'll just make sure that, we get to all the messages, how it's supposed to unfold, right? So that's part of redefining, how much I give out. Because I came to the conclusion that I do give out a lot. And, that stops here. That stops now. And so on this channel, on this YouTube channel, you will continue to receive channeling messages for my masculine hive on Thursdays and Saturdays. I try to come in around 10 p.m., but if I'm not there around 10, just know that it's going to be later on and that you're probably going to be able to catch it on later on. Okay? So that's how I service back to humanity. Now, for channeling messages for my feminine, I keep it exclusively on my OnlyFans. Okay? So I started an OnlyFans account and I exclusively channel messages for my feminine hive through my OnlyFans. And there's no explanation needed here. But the reason why I chose to do that is because, different vibes for different tribes. And I feel like I belong to many tribes, right? So in order to be versatile in my teachings or how I deliver messages, I'm making sure that, as I recognize all that I am not limiting myself in how I can teach and to who I can teach and to different audience. Okay, so I made that clear with myself. And so if y'all want to support, hop on to my OnlyFans account and I'll be going live actually I did go live yesterday and that went super, super well. I want to say thank you to everyone that came through. And, it's just going to be a little different. The message is still going to come in strong. It's just going to have, a little sexiness added to it. We're all grown. We're all mature folks. And I feel like with God's given gifts to me, I can channel differently. Like in this setting right here, right now, I'm mostly utilizing my voice and other different senses so that I can stay upbeat with a particular type of audience. And on OnlyFans, it's going to be a different type of audience. And so channeled messages for my feminine hive is going to be available on my OnlyFans on Friday and Monday around the same time. So 10 p.m. Sometimes it can be later. So go and subscribe onto my OnlyFans just to make sure that you get the information when it comes through. Now, for those of you that like free content, y'all can get the channeled message for my masculine hive on my YouTube. Y'all can continue to receive some knowledgeable videos that I do upload once a week. And for those that like entertainment, that like my poetry, that like my music, that like my dancing, y'all can catch me on my Instagram and my TikTok. And if you are interested in classes, master classes, courses, it's all in the works. Okay? So I want to thank y'all for the support. I want to thank y'all for liking, for sharing, for donating energetically, monetary. It's all one and the same. Attention is currency. Love is currency as well. So that was for the advertisement part. So before we get into rolling the dice, is there any other tribe? I feel like my air tribe ancestors want to step in. So what is the message for the masculine hive? My air tribe ancestors. Okay, so thank you. The channeled message is, it is very important in these times, though, in these times that we're transitioning, especially at this period, when the moon is in Libra. The moon is in Libra. Libra speaks of justice. It speaks of beauty, but it also speaks of social justice. It is very important at this time that you bring yourself justice with your words, right? Words of affirmations, actions that are showing to the universe and to your higher self that you are worthy of justice. You are worthy of miracles. You are worthy of receiving, because you're putting yourself in that position to receive. So it's important at this time that if you are not familiar, or if you've been the one to always overgive, it's going to be important so that you position yourself to be on the receiving end. Now, I'm catching that a lot of you watch football. Or maybe not. Maybe you're into sports. Or maybe not. And I'm talking to women as much as I'm talking to men. I catch as well that you probably are in the hospital field, being a nurse, doing people's hair, taking care of people around you, right? That's when you give. You are the one that gives. If you look at football, the one that throws the ball needs to be positioned a certain way, right? He has to make sure that there's going to be someone at the other end of where he plans to throw the ball, right? The receiver. The receiver needs to know where the ball is going to land. But he needs to position himself. If he does not position himself, he is not going to receive the ball, or he's going to miss it. And so what my air tribe ancestors are saying to you is, position yourself to receive. Position yourself to receive, meaning if you are tired, if you are needing help, put yourself in that position. Stop running around. Stop overdoing it. Just fall back a little bit. Take care of yourself. Do a lot of self-care. And just with words of affirmations, be grateful as if you have already received all that you need to receive at this time. So for instance, let's say you've woken up and your day has been, kind of tiring. And like you have a whole list of things to do. Well, scrap that whole list and go take a shower or go take a bath. And in that bath, start with gratitude. I am thankful that I've taken the decision to receive this love from myself or from self. I am grateful that I've surrendered control and sat in that bath and taken the time for myself, taking the time to replenish myself, taking the time to realize how much I am worthy, how much I work hard, how much I do so much in a day. And so by you putting yourself in that position, that is you making sure that you are going to receive whatever is going to be given to you. Okay? And when you are in the water element, that is mostly going to be emotional fulfillment, emotional support. Now, if you are familiar with the elements, you can do that with other elements as well. But that was just an example. So I want to say thank you to my air tribe ancestors for coming through with that. We're going to keep on rolling. Rolling, rolling, rolling and rolling. Do up, do up, do boom, boom, down, down, da 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 da. I just want to say, I'm grateful. I'm super grateful that I'm in this position to give, but also I like to receive. I love to receive, actually, and it took me some time to come to that conclusion that I love to receive, because of my old programming that, I was never to be put in a position to receive, but only to give, which is not true. That was a false belief of myself. Wow, guys, that is so cute. Look at the message that just came through. 555. That is beautiful. So what I'm getting with this, and that's the moon message. So that's the message that came from the angels to say that you are transforming, and it's not only successful transformation, but it's an ongoing transformation. It's like you are getting the gist of how transformation operates. And the dices are saying, like, keep it going. Keep moving. Keep moving. Although it may be uncomfortable, although sometimes you may feel like some form of emotional upheaval, sometimes you may feel like, okay, like, what is going on? Keep moving. Keep moving with the assurance that everything is all right. Everything is moving in your favor. Again, like I said, we are in this time of justice. We are bringing justice back to ourselves. And in order to do that, we must identify the ideas, the actions, the beliefs that we hold about ourselves, that we ultimately have to do more than to receive. And when we can come down to the conclusion that we do too much and that we need to take care of ourselves to bring back balance to ourselves, to our lives, that's when universe is going to reciprocate. And so I feel like it's important because, again, I'm channeling the message for my masculine hive. What does that mean? I'm channeling the message for my masculine hive, meaning it's a message that is pertaining to everyone, because we all are comprised of feminine and masculine energies. But the masculine within us has been programmed into working without stopping, until our goals are met. Very competitive type of masculinity we've been growing up on. And so because we are moving out of that competitive mindset, we are stepping more into a balanced mindset. We need to see into our lives, where have we been projecting those masculine, or I want to say those toxic masculine traits, where we feel like we're not good enough, we don't do enough, we need to do more, we need to strategize, plan, act, strategize, plan, act, strategize, plan, act. Cross out everything on our to-do list so that, we feel worthy at the end of the day. It doesn't work like that. You wake up with that feeling of worthiness because you've woken up. Some people don't wake up. And when you come to that conclusion, that worthiness starts at the beginning of the day, not at the end of the day when you've accomplished 1,000 things. You wake up with that feeling of gratitude because you've realized that you've woken up out of death. So you are worthy. And you say it. I am worthy that I've woken up this morning. I am so worthy, and I'm so grateful to have woken up this morning today. And already that is going to bring you in alignment into what exactly do you need to be doing that is going to keep you in alignment with that statement, which is you are worthy. I am worthy. I am worthy of taking care of myself. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of abundance. I am worthy of living my best life every day. I am worthy of smiling, having peace of mind. I am worthy of all the things that I have. I am worthy of all the things that I do. I am worthy of receiving so much more. Or I am worthy of just receiving what the universe has for me. And because this message is mostly pertaining to our masculine hive, so the masculine aspect of ourselves, is because if you look at the programming that masculinity received all throughout this era of bondage, was that you don't need anything. You just need to do and to give. Right? That's what the toxic masculinity in us has been programmed to do, is to do and to give, but never to receive. And that is not true. That is why, as an individual, man or woman, however you identify, you need to come to that conclusion that you are enough. All that you do in a day is just enough. All that you are in a day is just enough. And it's in that reminder that you are going to attract all that you need so that you can live your best life and experience life in a more blissful way. So let's move on to what our angel message is for our sun. Wow, we keep getting this. So what I'm getting is 3, 6, and 2. I'll show you. I think we got this last time, but it was like 2, 3, and 6. But now I got it in the order of 3, 6, and 2. So what I'm getting with this message is ultimately through your newfound identity. So how you present yourself with this new concept of self, right? You are balancing yourself. And so it's in that new identity that you are going to be able to create. Number 3, right? Number 3 speaks of creation, speaks also of alignment. It's only when you balance things out that you come into perfect alignment. And that alignment is going to bring you great rewards, great recognition. And it's not necessarily, external recognition. But what I'm getting with this is both, right? It's internal recognition, and that will, again, as above, so below, translate externally as well. And that's going to bring you a lot of, I want to say, choices. It's going to bring you a lot of union, a lot of, I want to say a lot of love. Like a whole, feeling whole again, being whole again. Maybe even like meeting people that strike a chord, a feeling of a good feeling of love. But it's an unconditional love. It's like attracting people to you that are going to see you for who you really are and not judge you because they think you're not doing enough. But if they do, that's just a cue for you to slice them. Not in the literal world, but just a cue to let you know that they're not part of your tribe. Simple as that. And so, what time is it? Oh, wow. We're already 26 minutes in this? I thought I was going to draw. But you know what? Yeah. Okay, so let's draw. I got some crayons. I hope you guys are doing all right tonight. I hope you guys are doing all right. I hope you're feeling so free inside. I hope you're doing all right tonight. So, okay. So I'm gonna get to my drawing, and I'm just gonna talk tonight. I don't feel like really pulling out some cards. It's just funny. Because I brought all the decks out and I was like, let me do this. But I'm being called to do something different tonight. So you see, by me sharing this passion that I have for drawing, that's me telling you, or that's me showing you that, this is how I bring balance back into my life. It doesn't have to be something that is approved of by the government. It doesn't have something that is being approved of by my neighbors, by a friend, by a parent, by a specialist, right? It's just something that is being approved by me, for me, because it makes me feel good. And so in that inner knowing, I just tap into this, and it enables me to just be at peace with myself, by myself, regardless of who knows, who doesn't, who sees, who doesn't. And I'm assured like that. Like I'm gonna showcase it if I feel like it's, it's pretty, it's nice, Yeah, I'm gonna showcase it. And I'll be like, this is what I did. I'm like a child, right? This is our inner child. Sometimes we do things, or we want to do things, but then we're holding ourselves back and be like, I don't know, if I do this, I'm going to sound so childish. Yeah, so what? So what? We've been living a lie in this plane, right? by all these constructs of how we need to behave, how we need to show up in the world. Don't tell anybody that you like eating lollipops. Don't tell anybody that you like country music. Don't tell anybody that you like to, I don't know, I was going to say to prepare your own bread, but you're a man. So it's not something that you're going to showcase to the world because, again, you have this ideology or this thinking that if people were to find out that you make your own bread, that they will look at you a certain way and be like, oh my God, this is so uncool. I don't even want to be his friend anymore. And then you're like, girl or guy, get the fuck on. Like, for real though. Like, what are you going to say? This makes me feel good about myself. And I'm really good at it. Try my bread. Just try one slice. And I trust me, you won't regret it. And she holding up her face like she ready to slap you and shit. She's like, where's the money? Like, I wanted you to bring in $1,000. And here you're holding like a whole loaf of bread that is worth $1,000. But because she's not approving of this, you just go about minimizing what you just put up together, and you just go and throw out that loaf of bread. While in the meantime, somebody across town was thinking of buying or, getting someone or contracting a catering service for bread because they've run out of ideas on how to, bake the perfect bread. And here you have the perfect recipe. But because you're still holding on to certain ideas of what it is to be you won't do it. And had you not fallen for the perception of someone else telling you, how you shouldn't be doing that, you would have probably, if you were surrounded with the right people, they would have probably tasted your bread and be like, oh my God, this bread is the dopest bread I've ever eaten in my life. You know what? I actually know somebody who's looking for someone to bring them some form of bread that tastes exactly like that. Here's their number. Right? But because we're stuck with people, situations, ideas of ourselves that are limiting, right? We're not going to go after what we really want to do. We're going to stay stuck in situations with people because we think they're cool, but they're really not that cool. They're actually very codependent on all the things that we have, right? They're just clout chasers. They're money hungry. They're greedy. But we keep them in our space because we think we have to be seen with a different type of people to be accepted by our own, whether it's family, friends, co-workers. The list goes on and on and on and on and on and on. But when you cut the cord as to what you should be doing and what this should be and what this looks like and what it should and it could have and it should have, the would have, the could have, and the should have and the would have and the could have and the should have, the would have, could have and the could have and the should have and the would have and it should have been and it could have been and it could have what and it could have did and I say what. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real though. So you got people tripping over here, doing the most by trying to control what you should be doing and saying and thinking and a shoulda, woulda, coulda, and the whole type of money you should be bringing in, and the whole type of energy that you should be giving to them, while they don't give a 2 fucks of you or 2 cents of you. They actually want you dead because they have planned on getting some form of insurance money out of your ass. And here you are, sweating it. All you should have just done is leave their ass out in the cold, get yourself a new apartment, or I don't know, someplace to crash, and bake that fucking bread that tastes like $1,000 bread and create that business because you love baking bread. Okay? That is just a small scenario of what it feels like when you're doing something that you love, not something that you should be doing, something that you love. For instance, I stopped working for the government because I did not want to get the vaccine. Now, people can judge me and say, oh my God, 60 plus K a year. She is so whatever. Okay? Yeah, exactly. And you got people judging me, saying how awful of a parent I am because I'm not going back to my old job. I'm not taking this, here I am doing some TikTok videos and trying to become a star when I should really be doing a parent shit and the whole normal citizen shit of going and getting a 9-to-5 job, right? But it doesn't feel right for me. It does not at all. 9-to-5 jobs is something I had to do because I had to be responsible. Since 15 years old, ever since I was 15, I started working. And I understood the value of working for something else, for someone else. But do you understand the value in working for yourself? And here you have the whole naysayers that I already hear in my head going, yeah, but you don't know. You don't know that you're going to have to be responsible for this. And you're going to have to file your income tax for this. And then you're going to have to do, the naysayers that are always trying to find excuses as to why you shouldn't want to do the things that you want to do. But you should really be pressed about going back to work because it's boring. And because they chose to do that, you should do it too, right? Tag along and feel bad about it. That's what I choose not to do. And in doing that, and in standing in that truth, honoring my truth, right? Balance is being brought to me. I'm telling the universe that I'm positioning myself differently, doing something that I love, doing something that I feel good about myself at the end of the day. Servicing humanity differently through my arts, my crafts, my gifts, right? Utilizing them for the betterment of humanity, right? And then you have a whole crowd of people that are ready to tell you how not lucrative, blah, 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 blah. And they really want to push you away from what you've been called to do because they feel they should be the one doing what you are doing. But they won't have the balls. They won't have the cojones to actually do it, but they don't want you to do it. How weird does that sound? How weird does that sound? Going back to topic, that was just a glimpse of a decision that I've made to bring me back into balance. Okay? Now, you can do this, right? You can take baby steps to do it. But we're really stepping in a time where baby steps isn't going to be enough. Baby steps isn't going to be enough because things are rapidly changing. You've seen the number 555. Things are rapidly changing. So the more you resist into not doing the things that you feel you're called to do, the more resistance you're going to show, and the more the universe is going to bring in change, unexpected changes. Now, when the universe says enough is enough, we need to bring you here. This is where you're going. This is where you should be going. And you're like, nah, this is where I think I should be going. The universe will bring you back and say, nah, we said this is where you are going. Until you understand, right? And because the universe works in mysterious ways, right? You might be losing your job. You might be losing some friends. You might be not making the type of money you want, not being satisfied, not feeling good about waking up every morning and going to that job. But because you are not heeding the message of doing what you love to do and really taking it to the next level, the universe will keep on pushing you until you understand your assignment. We've all come here to do some assignment now. Water. Dun 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 dun. Y'all know who that is? Come on. Dun 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 dun. Water no get enemy. Who thinks that? Come on now. It's Fela Kuti, my friend Fela. La 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 la. La 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 la. Da 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 da. La 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 la. La 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 la. La da 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 da. Y'all need to check out that song. Water no get enemy. I love that song. I'm actually hearing it right now in my head. It's a blend of Afro beats, but like the original one, and some jazz. I love jazz. So yeah, I'm hearing let's pull a message. Okay, so what are the qualities? So first I'm taking this totem, right? I love this card because again, sometimes you can utilize it just to play with your friends and family, or you can utilize it and build your intuition up and find out the type of qualities and characteristics that you actually need to embody or to challenge yourself about. So we got oh, that's cool. What is this bird? In French, it's mel. In English, what is Merlin? I think it's Merlin. So it says, what I like about you, you naturally succeed into elevating the level of discussions and you make them more rich. Or you make them You make them rich. I guess so. Tu réussis naturellement à élever le niveau des discussions et tu les rends plus enrichissantes. I feel like what it means overall is being a magician. If you know Merlin is a famous magician. I didn't know it was a bird though. Le merle. I didn't know it was a bird originally. So that is pretty interesting. So what it naturally says here, or what I'm getting with this card is, be the magician in your own life. You see how it says here? You naturally succeed in elevating the level of discussions and you make them more interesting. You enrich them, right? So the advice that I'm getting out of this card is become a magician. In every little thing that you do, spice it up. Spice it up by calling in. That's a bird, y'all. That is a bird. And the bird comes from where? The air tribe is the Ave kingdom. And the Ave kingdom is most likely talking about communication. So in all things that you do, listen up, people. In all things that you do, call in Merlin, or call in the bird kingdom, or calling your air tribe ancestors to spice up or to utilize your vocals to spice things up. Meaning, I'll go back to the little example I had about the bread maker. Okay, so here you are in your kitchen and you know the bread that you bake is just out of this world. Everybody that comes over, they taste your bread and they will not leave with a loaf. And they're willing to pay you $100. Those are your closest friends. They're like, man, I don't know what you put in that bread, y'all, but that bread is insane. The taste and the flavor and the texture, like, where did you get this recipe? And you're like, I don't know. I just took it out of the internet. But because you brought in Merlin into the mix, every time you make that bread, you're like, ooh, this bread is the most sensational bread nobody ever tasted. This bread is out of this world. Actually, this bread tastes $1,000 type of bread. This bread ain't no ordinary bread. If you taste this bread, you're going to want to bite off your fingers. You're going to want more of this bread. This is Merlin. This is Merlin. You are acting on your Merlin by tapping into some air. Air is communication. And when you do that, you're spicing things up. So in all things that you do, let's say, for instance, you wake up in the morning. Ooh, child, I'm the brightest star that woke up today. I am the luckiest girl on earth. Today is a day of miracles. Today is the day where I shine in my stardom. Today is the day where I vibe high, so high that I change the entire way I see myself and people see myself. This is you acting on your Merlin. You're utilizing your voice. You're communicating to a part of yourself that is very much so listening. We like to call it the observer or the universe. Your higher self. So it's important. It's important to spice things up with Merlin here. So that's a very good card. I'm going to just leave it there. Woo. Woo, 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 woo. Are there any other cards that wanted to come out? I feel like they have. Wait, well, hold on. Okay. So I'm getting another card here. So this is a quality card. Okay. And it says attentive. someone that's attentive. So what inspires me in you is your attentive ear, or your listening ear, your listening skills. You're very attentive. And what I'm getting with this card is we need to take some time to meditate, to go in, to listen in what's going on internally. Does anybody want to say something? No? All harmonious? I feel like there's a lot of harmony right now. Everybody is in harmony. Okay, that's great. So what I'm getting is you need to listen in. Okay, so what we're going to do right now, if you are looking at this candle right here, I want you to look at it. Okay, I'm going to do it too. And we're just going to look at this candle. Wow, okay. And we're going to ask, what is this candle wanting to say to me right now? So what I'm getting right now is when you are listening, when you are taking the time, a few little moments during your day, okay? You know, what I would say is this. If you're not into meditation, what you can start doing is clocking or setting up an alarm every hour or every half hour or every 2 hours. I would do it before. So last year, 2 years or 3 years ago, 2 years ago, let's say, I have a lot of journaling, and I was at a point in my life where I needed to come into grasping my reality, because I had lost. I thought I lost my truth. I wasn't sure what was real from what wasn't, because I had allowed so much mental projections to be done to me. So I was in a really bad place. And so I had to come out of this. And so for me, how I was able to do that was through journaling. So every 5 minutes, it started off like this. Every 5 minutes, every 15 minutes, I would write what I would be doing, and I would write what I'd feel. And I do that every 15 minutes. I would put an alarm on my phone and do it every 15 minutes. I did that for a week. And then after a week, I started spacing it out. Do it every hour. Okay, what was I doing every hour? What was I thinking? What was I feeling? Just so that I could grasp the actual moment of what I was doing and bring my awareness to it fully. So in being that attentive to my own internal reality, that is how I was able to gain trust into trusting my intuition, trusting my inner compass, because I had lost total trust in it. So only through a form of meditation, whether it's through journaling, we call it intuitive journaling, whether it's through sitting down in a meditative position, you're going to be able to sit down and listen in, have a listening ear to what is actually going on internally, and building your trust that way. Okay? So let's see if there's another card that wants to come out, a quality or an animal card. I like these cards, I really do. It's called Totem. Whoever wants to go and buy, it's very cool. It's a cool game. Very psychologically driven too. You know, it teaches you about you and it teaches you about others too. Okay. So that's a very cool card, cool deck. Oh, one that flipped. Oh my God, look. It's the turtle. Our turtle friend has come for us. So what it says. Ce que j'aime de toi. Tu as une patience à toute épreuve. What I like about you, you are patient, or you have patience at every, like you're patience proof. Let's just say that. So every type of circumstance you go through, you have a level of lightheadedness and patience. And that is very important, guys. I cannot stress that enough. Having patience with yourself. Because it's not going to be easy right away to, you know, detach from the external world and start trusting this inner world. It's going to take some time, but you're worthy. And having patience is what is going to ultimately bring you into, you know, fully accepting the change. So allowing to be patient. And yes, my Earth Tribe ancestors, you know, it's like a seed being planted. When you plant a seed, right? I heard that over the radio sometime where this guy would talk about his son, you know, planting his seed in the soil, and then his son would like water it and then immediately stand by it because he would want to see the seed, you know, come out of the soil. He would want to see the seed sprout. But then his father told him, it doesn't work like that. You have to have patience, right? And sometimes when we're children, patience is something that we have to learn. It's not something that is given. When you are a baby, you come out of your mom's womb, you are crying because, first of all, you cannot communicate properly, but you know you want some comfort. And you're not as patient because you've just transitioned. So having patience is going to put you in a position to have more compassion for yourself and for others as well. And especially if you have children, this is a great time to exercise your patience with your children. And I'm telling you this because I'm exercising this as well. So patience is one thing. Attentive to your own feelings is another. Spicing things up, speaking things that you want into existence. Okay. And is there a last card? But okay, let me see. Wow. What is this? Oh, all these came out? No, I'm not going to take all this. I'm just going to take the whale. So the whale was the next one on top. And it says, what I like about you, ce que j'aime de toi, tu restes calme même dans la tempête. So have you not noticed, like a whale, there can be a whole storm because at the sea level or on the surface level with the winds, like the waves can be very, very heavy. There can be thunderstorm, there can be thunder, there can be lightning because air is in direct contact with the surface level of water. But if you are like a whale and you are in a deeper or in the more deeper waters or more deeper depth of waters, you are not so much so concerned with the storm, because you are under the sea. You are actually in the deeper waters, and in the deeper waters is just as calm. It would be a totally different reality than what is happening on the surface level, unless you're actually in a water storm, or a water, what is it called? A hurricane? Yeah, a hurricane starts in water first. But even so, like, there are levels to this, right? So I'm getting with the whale is finding your peace, even through the chaos, even through the change. Finding your peace. And I feel like it correlates very well with this card, with being attentive. Only when you take some time to zone out and zone in that you can develop this right here, this calmness. Okay. So that's the message that we got. You know what, guys? You know, it's funny because today. We're actually more into Sunday than Saturday. But the reason why I like to do these readings on Saturday night is because it's more Saturn day, right? So Saturday is the day governed by Saturn, and Saturn speaks of karma, right? It speaks of justice. And because the moon is transitioning in Libra, Libra speaks of justice. And Saturn is the planet that governs the astrological sign of the Capricorn, right? So I'm a direct effect of this, because anyways, let's not get into the whole astrological aspect of this. Let me just stay basic so y'all and I can filter the information and make it more easy. So basically why I like to do these readings on particular days is because, you know, when we talk about Saturn, you know, it's very 3D reality material. It's a very earthly, day, right? And so all the qualities that we've seen, having a sense of calmness, patience, attentive, is like planting seeds in soil. So it makes perfect sense that during these times, this transit with the moon being in Libra, transits usually last 3 days. Okay, sometimes 4, but it's usually 2 to 3 days that a transit lasts, because a moon cycle is of 28 days. So in 28 days, you have transits of like 2 to 3 days. And so there are many transits. There needs to be, right, about 8 cycles of 8 different transits. So the moon is going to transit in different signs, different planets at a different time, at least 8 times in a month. So every 3 days, the transit is going to be in a different sign. And that's going to influence, or that's going to have, if you are into the astrology type of teachings and science, you're going to be aware of the subtleties of how the energies can impact you. Right? But that's a study in and of itself. And I'm getting more and more astrologically driven, but that is not like one of my main, like I was always driven into the occult, but astrology, I felt like it was something that was really hard to grasp. But the more and more I understand it, the more I read about it, the more it gets easier for me to understand, what it means to be in a transit, what it, the different influences. And so yeah, it's important. I feel like it's important in these day and age. It's important to base yourself on a science that is not I want to say that is not man-made or diluted by men. Like, mathematically, astrology is just angles of planets, orbits. It's not something that is changeable. It can be interpreted differently, but the basic is the basic. Like, you cannot come and say, well, I'm going to read this like that because I want to. No, it doesn't work like that. So yeah, if you are interested in astrology, I strongly encourage you to do so. So we are in an hour already. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out one divine feminine. So I'm going to pull out a divine feminine card. So what is the divine feminine trying to communicate to my masculine hive? And when I say divine feminine, ultimately what I'm saying is, what is your better half advising you at this time? Now, when I say your better half, because you're comprised of both essences, both masculine and feminine, you have this relationship within you that you need to maintain in order to feel whole. So what is that other half of you saying to you at this time? What is the divine feminine saying to my masculine hive, my masculine consciousness? Okay. Let's see. Oh. That is so cool. So we got Sara La Kali, Queen of the Outsiders. I have arrived. I am where I will always be, in love. That is beautiful. So without jumping into her story, because again, I want to keep this short tonight. Sara La Kali, she's the queen of the outsiders. And what I'm getting with this is she probably was casted. She probably was marginalized. She was probably, seen as the undeserving, the meek. And I feel like she was probably held in high honor only when she was able to come into the knowing of who she really is. And that is love, right? I have arrived. I am where I will always be, in love. So when she came to that realization about herself, it didn't matter anymore of what people thought of her, what people categorized her, what people felt that she needed to be, do. She was just in that knowing of who she is, and that is love. And when I say love, that means you are exactly where you should be. And when you embrace that truth of whatever you are feeling, you are going through, whatever change is happening around you, know that you are worthy of that love that is that is wanting to outpour to you, that is wanting to give you, but you need to be in a position to receive it. And so Sarah Lakali is saying, I have arrived. I am where I will always be, in love. How are you when you are in love? Can somebody tell me? When you are in love, how are you? Aren't you just a little bit more, eased into, having someone there with you, and you're like, okay, so I'm going to read about who she is. Sarah Lakali is the symbol of the love that endures, the love that never dies. There are three main legends that surrounds Saint Sarah. First, she is known as a charitable, noble woman who collected alms for the poor in Sainte-Marie de la Mer in the south of France at the beginning of the 1st century. She had a vision that the female saints who were present at Jesus' death would arrive on their shores. And when they did, around the year 42, Saint Sarah was the first to lovingly welcome them with open arms. The golden legend from the 13th century says that Saint Sarah arrived with the three Marys, Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, and Mary of Bethany, as one of their slaves. She was said to be an Egyptian, very beautiful and endowed with healing powers. The third legend is that Saint Sarah is the daughter of Mary Magdalene and Jesus Christ. During the persecution of the early Christians, it is believed that Mary Magdalene fled with young Sarah, Jesus' mother, and Mary of Bethany to the south of France. There she raised Sarah and continued her ministry of love, of becoming what Christ referred to as true human beings, meaning both fully human and fully divine. Saint Sarah is known as the Queen of the Outsiders. She is the beloved patron saint of Romani people. She is carried from her crypt in the cathedral to the sea on the horseback every May 24th by thousands of Romanians or Romani who gather annually to celebrate her. There's an ancient chest in St. Sarah Cathedral that contains the relics of the three Marys. St. Sarah represents the spiritual tenets of the Camargue cross, faith and hope, but above all, love. So when your soul selects this card, no matter who you are or where you are, St. Sarah loves is the kind that reaches you. There's nothing you need to perfect or prove. There's nothing you need to wait to become. There's only the deep, abiding truth that love is not outside of you. You are never an outsider to love. You are love. Saint Sarah is the ultimate love card, the one that whispers what you've always known, that love is our true purpose and our only true home. Love is where we will all arrive, no matter how persecuted, how lonely, how outcast we might feel, no matter how long it has been since we felt loved. Saint Sarah is the healing that comes when we embody love again. She is here to welcome us back to the singular destination we actually never left. Home is only ever as far as we allow ourselves to be, separate from the space of our own heart. And so you can meditate by entering your heart space and ask Saint Sarah to experience love, true love, and let it fill your head to soul. And so the intention behind is, I have arrived. I am where I will always be, in love. That is beautiful. And then another card that I picked is Saraswati. Now, Saraswati, I believe she's like one identity of Parvati, if I'm not mistaken. The goddess of self-knowledge. The essence of who I am flows effortlessly into everything I create. Oh my God. Guys, this goes back to Merlin. Saraswati. Now, Merlin, if y'all don't know, Merlin is very knowledgeable. He is seen as a sorcerer, but he's very knowledgeable. And so Saraswati says, the goddess of self-knowledge. The essence of who I am flows effortlessly into everything I create. We were talking about this. Actually. Let me just get to her and read what it says. Okay. I hope y'all are enjoying this. I know tonight is a bit different. I try not to indulge into smoking and all the rituals that I do, because that's not how I started. And so I have to make sure that I stay in integrity by doing things the way I was called to do them. So it is what it is. Let's see. Saraswati, 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 Saraswati. It's a nice name. Would you call your daughter Saraswati? Look, Saraswati. And look at this one, Sara Lakali. I feel like they're sisters. Sara Lakali, Saraswati. They both finish in E and I. They both start with Sarah. What is different in the one on the left is Lakal, and the one on the right is Swat. It's interesting. Lakal and Swat. That's interesting. Okay, so let's read about Saraswati. Saraswati, Saraswati. Ooh, you are Saraswati, the goddess of self-knowledge, who she is. Saraswati represents the self-knowledge of who we are, so that nothing impedes the flow of creativity from the soul. Her name is a fusion of the Sanskrit word for essence and one self. Saraswati's name translates then as the one who leads to the essence of self-knowledge. She is part of the Hindu goddess Trinity. That's exactly what I'm saying. The Hindu goddess Trinity, the three Devi, together with Parvati and Lakshmi. All three goddesses help the trinity of Hindu gods, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, to create, maintain, and regenerate the universe. The earliest mention of Saraswati in the Rig Veda, a collection of ancient sacred texts that dates back to 1500 BCE. She is sometimes referred to as the mother of the Vedas and is understood to be the personification of knowledge. Students appeal to her for assistance on exams, and writers and artists pray to her to remove all obstacles that keep them from being a clear conduit for the creativity that wants to come through them. She is considered to be a river goddess of a feminine deity with healing, flowing waters. She is venerated as the goddess of music, the arts, and learning because of this association with waters that heals and purify. Her iconography often associates her with a white lotus, symbolizing the purity of wisdom her energy brings. Ooh, I like that. I like that. So when your soul selects her card, when we are aligned with the essence of who we are, then what needs to be communicated through us, whether with words or music or artwork, can flow. When our creativity feels blocked or stagnant, it isn't because the waters have dried up, We might fear this, but the truth is that self-awareness is the key to unlocking our creative flow. When we take the time to return to the essence of who we really are and nurture that essence, we realign again with the river of expression that the soul generates. Saraswati is the reminder that anything we create that purifies us in the process of making it a blessing. Our art should be judged not on popularity, but on its power to transform us. Saraswati is a call to return to the essence of our true self. The energy of her card is a charge for more self-knowledge, more awareness of our own unique soul and what our needs are in the moment. She leads us back into that finely attuned space where we can express with ease and grace what the soul desires most to share. And that energy feels like a river moving through us. It heals, it liberates, and it inspires others to return to their own essence as well. Wow. And so the soul voice meditation is, what is one word to describe the essence of my true self? Whew. I want to say art. And so the intention behind it is the essence of who I am flows effortlessly into everything I create. So guys, if you are in the writing arts, if you are in the music, if you are anything that is creative, because we've all come here to create, it's important that you do take some time to sit with yourselves and to ask Saraswati. If you believe in, if you believe in it, good. If you don't, you don't. If you do, you do. So ask Saraswati to bring you back in alignment with all that you are, so that the flow of love comes easily to you. Now, I'm the first one to say, sometimes I can get creativity blocks because I'm not in alignment with all that I am. Sometimes I'm looking externally of me to find where I need to be focusing, when in reality, it should just be through meditation, through letting go, through realigning, right? Some form of realignment. It can be through enjoyment, right? That you get to tap into that fountain of youth, that fountain of abundance, that is going to bring you into that effortless creative flow, is what I want to say. So that's very good. Now, the reason why I feel like this is also good for a masculine. So the masculine essence of us, right? That always wants to be in the do. That part of us that wants to always do. What we get with Saraswati is, feeling blocks is normal because we live in a 3D reality. We're going to be influenced. But what do we do with that influence? Do we let it block us? Or can we transcend it? Can we transmute it and fall back and go back into what we were supposed to be doing? Be in that creative flow. Okay? This is why I chose to draw tonight. Well, to color instead of, doing the usual thing that I do. Because I feel like I needed to, being brought back into balance with that ultimate internal flow. Because I did feel some form of block that I was putting on myself. For, obviously, reasons that I'm not going to name here. So, yeah, I'm super grateful. Super, super, super grateful for those messages, which I'm just going to leave right here for y'all can see. Saraswati and Saralakali. Okay, baby, we gotta close. We gotta close. How long? 84 minutes. Okay. So I'm thinking we got 6 minutes and we're going to close it out because, like I said, my point is not to overdo this. An hour and 30 minutes, that's actually very great because, again, we try to do this. That's like servicing. That's like our little service here. Giving back to the community. Making sure that you do get some form of inspiration. Some form of assistance. Some form of, whatever it comes to you. Some form of peace. La paix. And then what I got with this is solutions. So I'm not going to pick any cards. I just, I flipped the cards and then that's what I cut. I cut in the middle and then I got this. So we got peace and we got solution. So what I'm getting with this, and wow. So it's card number 13, peace. Archangel Azrael. Let go of the past. A rich future awaits you. Let go and accept the help of God. And then with the following card, the solutions, Archangel Zadkiel. Success comes with compromise, master self, and patience. And then it says forgiveness and therapeutic energy. So I think that you can call on Archangel Zadkiel because Archangel Zadkiel rules your third eye, rules a bit of all the gifts. Gifts are usually there. And when I say gifts, everybody comes with different sets of gifts. But your gifts are there to solve the 3D issues that you have. But you can only access those gifts when you are in that peaceful mode. So Azrael is coming in to give you peace. So accept the past for what it is, make peace with it, and accept that more is coming in for you. Accept to let it all go, whatever that is, and to focus on that peace. And I feel that only when you focus on that peace, you can get those beautiful solutions that are coming from within. And I claim this message. I approve of this message. Thank you so much, Archangels. So Archangels Azrael and Zadkiel, call on them if you need some assistance in letting go of the past. And, it's funny how Archangel Azrael is number 13, which equals to the number of death. So when you want to cut out a cord, make a cut cord ritual, let go of the past, allow change to fully transform you, call on Archangel Azrael, and say, I ask that you fully cut out all cords with past karmic burdens, situations, ideals, identities, all things that aren't serving my highest good. Ashe. And just with that wording, and you have to believe it, it's not just the wording, it's also the belief and the feeling that it's already done. That then you can access the next level and be in peace. Okay? So, okay, we got 2 minutes, guys. I do want to take the time to thank y'all to have come tonight, to have showed up. If you're watching this at a later time or at an earlier time on Sunday, I send you so much love. And, oh, wow. Yeah, I do want to send you so much love. Take care of yourselves, take care of your minds, your hearts, and your entire being. Just know that you're worthy. We all are going through these times of change. And we ultimately are worthy of so much love, so much peace, effortlessly. We just gotta let go of what no longer serves, the identities that we kept that held us back, the things, the situations, the people, the relationships, the habits. We are so much more worthy and grand. And so I'm just gonna close it with a little song, with a little melody. Oh, 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 oh. We say thank you for. We say thank you for. We say thank you for the love we receive. I want to say thank you for all the love we receive, for all the guidance, for all the knowledge, for all the clarity we get by just being here in this space. I want to say thank you to our air tribe ancestors who always come through with the knowledge, with the information, with the right wording all the time. We see you, we love you, Ashe. We then want to say thank you to our Earth tribe ancestors, always coming in with experiences, with stories, with analogies, with patience, with compassion for one another and for self. Thank you for bringing in the words of wisdom and lots of patience. We say thank you. We then want to say thank you to our water tribe ancestors coming in with the emotional intelligence, the emotional balance, the emotional depth, and the emotional transparency of all that we feel is valid. All that we feel is valid. Now, how are we going to change that feeling into something that is love? How are we going to love whatever we are feeling? How are we going to create with that overflow of feelings, whether it be perceived as good or bad? We say thank you to our water tribe for coming through with the solutions, or for coming through with the triggers, because only through the triggers we can then sit down and be attentive to all that we need to feel. And we lastly want to say thank you to our fire tribe ancestors who are coming through always with the solutions, with the fire, with the motivation, with the inspired guidance and action as to where we need to redirect our focus, as to where and how we're going to utilize our gifts to create something beautiful, to create solutions. And so we say thank you to our fire tribe ancestors for assisting us all the way with love, with passions, with actions of truth and alignment. And we then say thank you to all of our other ancestors from our bloodline, karmic or royal. We say thank you to our intergalactic ancestors, known or unknown, Pleiadian, Vega, Orion. We say thank you. We then want to say thank you to you who've been listening in. So I hope we see you. And don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to come back at a later time. And also go on my Linktree and find out of all other products, services, platforms on which you will get these beautiful treats. I love y'all.